Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast. We're coming to you live from Cole Creative in downtown Wilkes-Barre. I'm Rich Howells. I'm the founder and editor of NEPA Scene.
I am John Popko, and I work for maybe I'm high. Time Shamrock Communications with Rock 107, ESPN Radio, and Alt 92.1. And I'm also the Saturday night host of Alt Natives on Alt 92.1 at 9 o'clock.
So we're here with Clark Summit magician, mind reader, comedian, and public speaker, Denny Corby. How are you, man?
I'm great here on a Wednesday night, so.
He's a mind reader, too? I don't think I caught that.
Yeah.
What am I thinking right now?
You're hoping you don't have a drug test tomorrow.
I'll pass.
I know. Call back to the first joke, so.
I get it.
So he's going to show us some tricks, and we're going to talk about magic, mentalism, his Secret Speakeasy shows, which are pretty cool, entertaining people of all kinds, and much more. So if you're interested in magic, or if you're interested in anything that we're talking about here tonight, please leave your comments down below. Leave your questions down below. We'd love to see some questions from the audience tonight. So anything that's on your mind, anything you want to ask us, please leave them down below. We will get to those later in the show. So, and we're also streaming on Periscope on Twitter. So if you're more of a Twitter fan, you can tune in there as well on Wednesdays. And before we get into the interview, though, we have some beers to introduce from Beer Boys.
We do, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, what do we got?
I'm really pumped for the Genesee Pilot Batch Orange Honey Cream Ale.
Oh, man, I saw that on their Facebook page the other day, and I was like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I commented on that, and I said, I want to try that. And they were like, yo, we'll send you some for the podcast on Wednesday.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. So, yeah. I don't know if people know about Genesee, but they're not, they were famous for their Jenny. Right?
Yeah, and Jenny Cream Ale,
And Cream Ale, but that was it.
Which is quite good.
But recently they put out that peanut butter. You ever try that?
Yeah,
that was really good.
That was like a big hit. It was like a peanut butter chocolate beer that they put out
Yeah.
maybe about a year or two ago.
They're not known for like good beer.
Right, yeah, not for those types of
But that
of
was
beer,
awesome.
yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that this is awesome too.
The one thing they sell, they're not like known for.
Yeah, exactly. The beer company that's not known for making beer. That's very good. But what else we got?
We also have the IC Light Mango, which is I'm excited for that too. I think we've had it before, but
Yep. That's one of my wife's favorites, actually.
yeah. And the SBC Small Batch Triple Ale, but is it said differently?
No, I think it's still triple, yeah.
All right.
Triple.
Beer Boys, North Washington Street, Wilkes-Barre.
72 beers on tap.
72.
72.
Yes, 72.
That's crazy.
They have an amazing selection there, and a really great staff that will kind of point you towards, whatever you might want to try. You know, if you don't know what you like, they'll be able to find it for you.
So we had that Natty Bow Crab Shack Shandy last week, so they were doing a glass night today with that little logo
with the Natty Bow guy.
Yeah, they said they were all out in 3 minutes. Line out the door.
Yeah, that's because that Natty Bow guy is awesome.
Yeah, he is.
He's a good logo. That's called branding right there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
They also have live music on the weekends, a half-price happy hour every night of the week, 8 to midnight on Fridays and Saturdays, and 9 to 11 every other night of the week. And the glass nights are Wednesdays, I believe, right?
Yes, pizza and glass night.
Cool.
Yeah.
We also, let's pick a beer first, and then
We got to go
with
with the Genesee.
Let's go with the Jenny.
You've been talking about that nonstop.
Yeah, exactly.
Holly wants in. We're going to give her some. Ooh, it smells good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, smellability, how is it?
7.
7. Mm-hmm. Your face said like an 8, but.
Bad pour.
Oh boy.
Bad pour.
Grassy ass. It almost smells like a Bud Light lime almost.
Mm.
Yeah.
Could just be the foam. Do we like waft? Like, how, is this like kind of like drinking like wine? Do you like
we're
spin
not
it?
snobs.
Okay. Yeah, we're not swishing it and spitting it out. No,
That's like a party foul.
Mm-hmm. Not on this show, anyway. We don't do that.
How is it?
Now that I've gotten to it, yeah, it's quite good, actually.
Too much
Sweet.
head, huh?
It's the honey is very like right up front there. Very sweet, but not too sweet. Not
It's the holly.
like sickeningly sweet. What do you think?
I'm waiting for the foam to go down.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, while we're doing that, we also want to plug the V Spot, who's our other sponsor. One of the most popular bars in northeastern Pennsylvania with live entertainment every night of the week. This week, they have Jamie Zaletsky tonight, Jonathan Dressler on Thursday, Grace's Downfall on Friday, Psycho City on Saturday, and DJ Huff is hosting karaoke on Sunday. And, of course, the NEPA Scene Rising Talent Open Mic and Talent Contest continues for 5 more weeks. So we're getting down to the end of our 12-week run. So if you haven't come out yet, I definitely encourage you to do so. We've been getting some pretty good, steady turnouts. But like I was saying on our Facebook page the other day, people tend to, they come the first few weeks, and then they come the last few weeks. And then in the middle, it's kind of like an average turnout, which is a bad move strategically. If you really want to get into the final showcase on June 26th, you really want to come when there's less competition, not when everyone's trying to get in at the last minute. That's not how it works, because we only have one winner per week. So make sure that you come in the next couple of weeks. We're getting towards the end, and it's been a good time so far. All right, so now what do we think?
It's not bad. I like the peanut butter chocolate better.
Mm-hmm.
But, for a beer company that's not great at making beer, that's not fair. That cream ale is pretty good.
I will say the cream ale is a classic. I have to disagree there, but otherwise, yeah, they're known for like cheap beer, really, which is fine.
that's
If you're,
fine.
some people are, Coors Light, Bud Light kind of people, and I get it.
Sponsored by Coors Light, so don't talk badly about them.
I would not. We've our thing is sponsored by Samuel Adams, but we also had Coors Light as a sponsor as well. They were good to us, so I'm not going to complain.
I consider those beers marathon beers.
The session beers in the craft world now.
And when I'm out camping in the woods, I want the Coors Light so I could drink all weekend and drink about 100 of them.
Right. Exactly.
And still feel nothing.
Pretty much.
Instead of 3 beers of craft beer and be drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like a lot of them are like heavy too. Like you almost can't have more than like one glass or one bottle.
Yeah, that's true.
They're very. I don't know if flavorful is the right word, but like I can have like one, or even sometimes like doing like a flight. Like I don't know if I can be able to handle like a whole glass.
yeah,
Right.
good
Some
stuff.
of the porters and stouts, if that's a word.
All right, so let's get into magic. So, how exactly does one get into magic? Because it's not like a thing you just kind of.
Yeah, it's a weird way to make a living. So I was working for years. I thought I was going to run one of my dad's companies, and that was always kind of like the vision. And then realized not what I love to do. So I think all of us as kids kind of liked magic to some degree. Whether got set as a magic kid, people like, oh, you're a boy, here's magic. Had a magician at a party or something, but so I always kind of did that. But I took it to, like the next step and kept taking it to, like the next step, and I've always like loved it. So I always had like magicians at birthday party. Was always like doing like little shows, and started doing shows a little bit more regularly, and realized I can make a living at it. And 4 years later, I think it's 5 years now, travel around the country turning tricks.
What did your dad? What kind of companies? Did he have?
Pennsylvania Paper and Supply
Okay.
in Scranton.
My father worked at Panel Prints for many years,
Okay.
so I'm familiar with the paper industry and making printing and all that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting business.
Yeah.
But obviously not what you felt like you were destined for.
No. It's I think I was pretty good at sales. He might say otherwise. But yeah, I don't think I was meant for like the corporate world.
You got which is funny. Now you deal with a lot of corporations in a different way.
Yep.
So one of the things I think is interesting too is we have a lot of local artists on the show, and a lot of them are very we don't pick people who aren't any good. We pick people who we think are good, that we want to highlight, that we want to show people. You should come out and see these people. But a lot of times they're very talented on the artistic end, and maybe not so much on the business end of things.
Yeah.
On like selling themselves or getting out there and that kind of thing. How do you go about that?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest part, because I was like, so I'm going to become full-time, put up a website, leads will fly in. That is not what happens. Yes, it's, I hate even like using the word hustle, because I think it's used a lot, but you have to like want something bad enough and like willing to put in the work to make it happen. I wasn't like a big fan of school. I wasn't like great at it, but like, I love like reading and learning on like my old terms. So like I have a library full of just like business books, marketing books. Like I love reading, learning about that stuff. I love Gary Vaynerchuk, like all those guys.
Yeah.
Helps like kick. So I think I kind of break it up into like you have to be good at the business side and the performing side as well.
Okay.
So on like a daily basis, it's not uncommon for me to make some cold calls, network with people, reach out to different companies, organizations, different events. Like, hey, looks like you're doing some cool stuff. What about maybe adding in a comedy, magic, and mind reading show to like the mix next year? Just seeing, and then just following up until they say either yes or no. And sometimes it's a lot of no's, but you just got to put in like that work. It's just making those connections, and it might not be this year, it might not be next year, but sometimes I've gotten calls like, hey, you sent me an email like 3 years ago. You still doing this? Like, yeah, website's still up, so email came through. And as you know, being in sales, it's like a hustle and a grind, and just kind of keep working towards it. And, it does. But like when something finally does come through, you're like, so worth it.
It's very,
so
very
worth
rewarding, yeah. But yeah, it's a hustle.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I think like a lot of people like stop. I don't want to say rest on their laurels. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but like you have to just keep constantly making that effort to keep continuing moving forward and growing yourself and your business and company. So
now, was there anybody that you were looking at in particular? Like growing up, I was a big, and still am a big Penn and Teller fan.
Yep.
I love watching those guys and what they do, and they've been able to kind of cleverly spin off into a lot of different things. I mean, some more successful than others, but like books and TV shows, and now they have their new show, which I think is still on.
Fool Us, yep.
Fool Us, yeah. So were you looking at those guys or other people for inspiration?
there's like a bunch of different kind of people. Like there's obviously the Penn and Teller, the Copperfields, the David Blaines. There's all those people, and there's people who I'm trying to think of, like maybe in like a different world who they might be, where they're not really like a Penn and Teller, but they're not like a no name. They're like known in like certain circles.
Yeah.
Like there's people like that who, they travel a lot, they perform a lot, they, are in the public a lot, but they also might write books and manuscripts and do like lectures for like magicians. So like it's almost like a whole, like when you start looking into other people's like worlds, like there's whole other worlds inside of those. Like there's famous magicians, there's not famous magicians, there's guys who are just phenomenal with like a deck of cards, and that's like what they're known for. Like they're probably really not known in like the outside world, but to like magicians, they're like the bee's knees.
So those guys.
So, yeah. It depends on like what I'm kind of doing. Like if I'm in like business mode, I might look at some other people. If I'm in like show mode, I might, go read some other stuff. So it really depends on like where I'm at, kind of that mind frame, I guess.
Right. Now is mentalism and mind reading and stuff, is that a whole different kind of ball game when it comes
That's
to that
like a whole other debate, and I'm probably gonna get bashed online. So for
that's what it's for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. The comments are gonna blow up with all like my like magician friends.
Warriors, come on.
So magic and mind reading could technically be like the same, but the performance comes from two different worlds. Mm-hmm. So they can kind of share some like the same ideas and principles and stuff like that, but like magic comes from the performing and gambling world a little bit. The mind reading comes from more like the psychic, esoteric kind of that sort of realm.
What is mentalism?
That's mind reading.
That's what that is?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you want, we can do like, it might not work because it is dealing with people in the mind. We can try something that is like mind reading. So I brought books. I brought hopefully popular books that have been movies too. So if you don't know the books, you've probably know the movies. So we have Stephen King's The Shining, we have the Da Vinci Code, and also Harry Potter. So I just brought 3 off my bookshelf that I think hopefully the viewers might recognize. Who wants to help out? You.
He's the host. Go ahead.
No, give
All right.
Okay. Which one?
I'll do the Shining.
You sure?
But do I take it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it.
I'm not going to use these.
We're not?
No,
You tell
okay.
me.
It's your call.
I thought I was just picking one.
You can.
Okay.
Okay. Open up to any page. Happy? You want to switch it? You want to turn to the next page?
It's fine.
It's good? Okay. I want you to scan through the page. I want you to lock your eyes on a word, say nothing out loud, but make it like a bigger word. Maybe like more than 6 or 7 letters, like something like
Okay.
substantial. You have one?
Yep.
Okay. As you're thinking about that word, say nothing out loud, but think about the first letter of that word. Can you think of an animal that has the same first letter?
Yes.
You can.
Yes.
Look at me. Say nothing out loud. I'm going to try and go for the animal that you're thinking of. Look at me. You're how old?
35.
35. How long have you been doing this show for?
A little over a year.
A little over a year.
Yeah.
Enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
You're just kind of a slave driver. Can you say that now? Still these days?
Edit.
Is that politically correct? Can you still say slave driver?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not Kanye saying that his whatever he said about slavery.
What was the animal that you were thinking of?
A tiger.
Tiger. Boom. Tiger. Oh, sorry, I forgot the stripes. Boom. It's a very fat tiger. And they're going to cut off the show right now. Who do we bring on? But no, okay, think about your whole word for me. That was just a joke. Think about the whole word.
Okay.
Think about the amount of syllables, but say nothing out loud.
Okay.
Look at me. Say nothing out loud. Keep a straight poker face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 syllables?
No.
No? 2. Off by 1. Look at me.
Wait, no. Hold on.
It
I fucked it up.
is 3. Isn't it?
You are cut off.
It is.
That's you get that last sip in. That's it. That's all you got.
I'm not very smart.
I know. Let me change that then.
He was right the first time.
Very good.
My handwriting is atrocious. I apologize. What was the word that you were thinking of?
Thunderstruck.
Would you be impressed if I was close to the word thunderstruck?
Yeah.
If I had the whole thing correct.
That's fine.
Holy shit!
Holy shit.
It's insanity.
Do you have this memorized?
Yeah, all 3 books I have completely memorized. So I'm not really like booking shows. I'm actually just like memorizing books. It's crazy.
That word is also on this page twice. Now that I look at it further.
Okay.
If you have The Shining, go home, pick up the book. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah. Page 238. That's fucking
Insanity. Insanity.
And I almost fucked you up too.
I know. It's close.
Wow.
Very close. So yes, that's like kind of like more like the mind reading stuff.
Which I love what you do in that aspect, because there's so many like you said, it's a little bit of a controversial world when it comes to that kind of stuff, because you can use it for other things. You have like Long Island Medium and stuff like that, and we get press releases and we'll run them and stuff like that. But when we post them, I always change the wording to like they allege these things or they say they have these powers, because a lot of times like I'm very much like, I think of like my late grandmother, who was the kind of person who could easily be taken advantage of. She's the kind of person that, she would let somebody in her house and swindle them out of all of her money, like that kind of thing. So when I see somebody like that who preys on people who are going through some kind of loss or something like that, I'm really like uncomfortable with that. So I like more of this type of stuff where it's more, it's entertainment, it's fun, it's not, trying to, take advantage of people or anything like that. It's a whole different, there's a whole different side to mentalism.
That can almost be like its own podcast episode too, its own live, just because it's like, is what they're doing, even though they're taking money from people and doing that, but is it really bad because they're giving people clothes? Like, it's like there's like so many different rabbit holes you can go down.
Absolutely.
Just based off that. And do they really think they're doing anything wrong, or all these people so far into it that they think they, like, you know what I mean? Like, do they really?
Right. They're giving them some kind of comfort. So then,
Yeah.
is it really that bad and that kind of thing too? You could look at it that way. I guess I look
Or
at
do
it
they
that
really
way.
think they are? Like, they're
Right. Or do they?
They
Do they
are-
honestly think
yeah.
that they are connected to some?
If you ever want to laugh, just go on YouTube and type in like psychic medium fails. It's just like people just like missing all the time. It's really funny. Yeah. So
it probably comes from me being more of like a skeptic in that kind of area. So do you run into people who are like real skeptical that like just do not want that don't want you to do any kind of tricks or
it's
any
like,
kind of thing,
and then
doubting everything that you do.
kind of, yes, and it's just like I'm here at your company on like a Wednesday night doing a 45-minute show, like
Right.
like I'm really not here for anything other just to make you guys like laugh and smile. Like it's like you think they'd really hire somebody who would like really mess with you?
Yeah. Like take over your brain and try to control you or something like that.
And it's like if I could really do that, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, right.
I'd be doing some other stuff. So,
Conquering the world. Or
exactly.
something
Like I would
that.
not be like in Alabama on like a Tuesday doing a show.
How did you do that?
That was like 20 minutes ago, dude. Oh, I see how it works. You try to get the magician here, give him some drinks.
Yes.
Hopefully, I'll expose his secrets. I see how it is.
Exactly. That's what we're really up to. You figured this out.
I was excited that that word was on the page because that's a drinking game.
Yeah, you're like, he's never going to get that.
Oh yeah, it's like Thunderstruck. This is fucking awesome. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's another thing you probably get a lot. People trying to say, okay, how did you do it?
Yeah, there's that, which I think is sometimes they don't really mean it. They just don't know how to like interact. Sometimes I think people are just awkward.
Process it.
Awkward, like in general. I think we're like people are just strange creatures, and they just don't know how to like talk to people sometimes. So like, if they want to come up and talk, they might not really know how to really talk or like what to talk about.
Right.
So it's like, how would you do that? And like, I don't think they always want to know. I think they just want to start that conversation, like just talk.
Right. Yeah, because they're still trying to figure that out. Like process what just happened. Like the poor Johnny. He's gonna be sitting here the rest of the episode.
I even almost screwed it up.
You weren't even like a beer in. That was crazy.
I know. I'm like Thunderstruck, like 2. And I'm like, wait a minute, John.
But you slightly like nodded on like 3. So.
Yeah. No, John. You went to school.
So I think you subconsciously knew.
You know how to do this.
Well, you went to like
Thunderstruck.
public school though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Russell Austin asks, do people ask you to do a trick on the spot often?
I got an email like midnight last night. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? No pressure, but if you want to bring magic, we'll have beer, and it'll be just real casual. And come on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Because to me, I think, I don't know, like I want people to want to see it. I don't want them to ask to see something just because that's all they know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're also not a sideshow. Like, it's like,
Yes.
Like if you see like your dentist, you're like, hey, can you check out this like cavity quick? Like it's been bothering me. Like it's just like I try to kind of keep like a little bit separate.
You got to keep the demand.
Exactly.
Right.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, you really can't give it all away for free.
Business. How long did it take you to like do all this? Like, obviously you didn't wake up one day like magic, and then like the next day you're a magician.
A lot of years. To me, it's, you just have to like just like anything, you just have to do it. Like the more you just do it, get out in front of people, the more you fail, the better you get. You learn from it, and you just.
And how did you learn? Like are there books that you read?
Oh, there's books, there's like lectures, there's other magicians, and now with the internet, you just learn on there. And went to magic camp as a kid. So can we edit that out?
Better than fat camp.
True. Did you go to fat camp?
No.
Oh, okay.
I should go now. I wasn't fat when I was a kid.
But it's actually like a really cool magic camp. Like it was in Long Island for years. Now it's in Philly. Like Copperfield went there when he was a kid. Chris Angel, like a bunch of people. David Blaine, and like a lot of those like Blaine's come by a couple times like afterwards. And it's just kids from like I think it's 10 or 11 up to 18. And then so I went I think from 13 or 14 to 18 as a camper.
Yeah.
And then like I was a counselor for about 3 or 4 years. Took a couple years off and just went back again last year.
Yeah, we're drinking the SBC Small Batch Triple Ale. You guys know is that or not?
Should we talk about what just happened or no? No? All right.
No. What? It's like Fight.
No, that never happened.
It's like Fight Club. You don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know the red button. Someone touched the red button.
Yeah.
That is what happened. Holly is drunk.
Should have seen her like before. She was like, these pillows look too flat. She was fluffing all the pillows. I was like, that's when like, you know, like your show's made it, when like someone's like, these pillows look ridiculous.
Right.
Personal pillow fluffers.
Is our audience back? Like, are people watching again? Like, did they stay with us?
No, fuck these
not
guys.
many.
We're sick of it.
All right.
They'll come
So
back.
what were we talking
slowly.
about? Yeah, what were we talking about before we got along?
We went on a trip. A voyage, so to speak.
A fantastic voyage?
A
With Coolio?
What's
Yes.
that? What the fuck? I don't know.
All right, we were talking about unusual shows. And
Oh,
things
yeah.
that you've done that were walking into something and not
Yeah,
knowing
so
what
it's
to
just
expect.
like things like that. But yeah, so I don't know how much of that they heard, but you saw like I always prepare for like the unexpected. Always show up super early, just so if things are a little bit out of whack, you could
Right.
at least try and make the best of it. You know, you can go in, move the room around a bit, move the stage, either closer or further away, where we have to do like move some tables, which kind of sucks, and I feel like a dick sometimes, like moving things and doing whatever. But at the end of the day, the success of the show relies on some of those aspects. So, and the clients usually pay a good amount of money to have me come in. So I'm not afraid to make those adjustments and move things around, because at the end of the day, it's what's going to be best for my audience.
Sure.
And people who have paid me. So
And you keep things pretty clean in terms of the humor and that
Yep.
kind of stuff too. I think it's harder to do that than it is to go the other.
there'll be
route.
times like depending on like the show, like more for my like speakeasy shows, might be a curse in there every now and then, but
Yeah.
I'll let the audience go there first.
Right.
So if they say something, I might re-say like the curse word back, whatever. Like no, like that's not like what we say. You make like a joke about it or something.
Right.
I think it's about going to that line a little bit and letting their imaginations kind of go from there. But yeah, I think it is. There's so many great comedians and just people just watching who aren't even like famous yet. It's like, why are you cursing? Like it's not even funny. I saw Seinfeld here a couple weeks ago. It was great.
It was awesome.
It was great.
I saw. You know what? It was great, but he did reuse stuff from like 2 years ago, and even like 4 years ago prior to that. Like
Yeah, because he comes here every maybe a few years.
a couple
or so.
years. Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah.
This was my third time seeing him here, and
Okay.
I was a little bummed, but still great.
Yeah.
Sure.
Still great, but
Yeah, it's hard to he did his he was on Jimmy Fallon maybe a year or two ago and did his like type 5 or however you want to put it, and it was like, oh, I've heard all this stuff before. It wasn't like anything that was like particularly that jumped out at me,
yeah, I thought he just put out like a Netflix special, and I was like, I didn't watch it. I'm like, I can't watch this. I'm gonna see him
Yeah.
soon. I
Yeah.
don't want to get this, this.
I think it's
Really?
hard to put out
Sure.
like because
Yeah.
especially for any performance, you have to be cranking.
Yeah.
Because you have to
Right.
figure out like those moments, like there's routines like still like a year, 2 years in for me. You're still finding those beats and moments. Like, is this word funnier than this word?
Yeah.
And you can only do so many shows, so it's like you try to maximize on every show. So it's like you might try this phrasing these times, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna try these phrases the next time.
Yeah.
Okay, which one played better? I think this phrase played better than that one. So it's a constant.
Right.
So I think for comedy, like didn't Dave Chappelle's put out like 2 in a year?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that
like
is a
2
lot of
full-hour
material.
specials. That's
He's also
like
been gone though for how long? Not that it makes it any easier. But
yeah.
Sure. But yeah, he had a little bit of a break
yeah.
at least.
Well, I mean, let me say, I'm gonna, talk about Joe Rogan because it's my boy.
Yeah.
But he does a special and he scraps all of it.
Hmm.
He goes just writes the material because he has to.
Or there's, before the whole incident. We won't get into the Louis C.K. stuff.
Oh.
You know, he would pump out a new special at least a year.
Oh, he'd be pumping out.
Oh yeah, he was pumping them out.
He was pumping them out.
On stage and in the back too.
At least he asked permission.
He did. He did. I don't know if that makes it any better, but a lot of them just were not very good, and I say that as you know a fan of a lot of his earlier stuff. I was like, oh, you know, this is not. Maybe you should slow it down a little bit and take your time. You know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a hard thing to do, especially when like the demand's there.
Yeah.
And then part of it, I think, is like when you reach a certain level, almost anything you can say is funny. Like people just
That's
know you for being funny.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Louis C.K. can just sit here and like like, oh my god, like it's just like when someone's funny, you're like, oh, everything they do is funny.
Yeah. Right.
Whereas like, because I was thinking like, you know, what if I would do a joke, but if somebody like else famous did like the same joke, they'd probably get a bigger laugh.
Right.
Just because it's that person.
Yeah.
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 Which leads to a lot of joke stealing, I'm sure. You know, you hear about that all the time. It's hard to come up with a joke and not realize that anyone in the history of the world has ever done that joke before. You know, so I think there's a lot of that too, where, you know, two people on opposite ends of the world could come up with a light bulb at the same time. You know, they're very similar. You know, you can make a joke and someone else has made a similar joke before. It doesn't necessarily mean they were stealing jokes or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's probably hard to write, but I guess you're writing around the magic and the tricks and stuff too.
To me, like, I just kind of do the magic. I really care about the people and having fun with them. So
Okay.
I really just want each experience to be fun, like with my audience, like new for them. The tricks, some of the you know, I always try to put in like a new routine here and there, always working on new stuff. But so like the routines might be like the same, like you might recognize some of the same stuff, but the interaction's different, the people are different. So
Yeah.
to me, that's where like, because I don't know if I'd be able to do like the same thing every single time. Like I need that audience interaction, I need that different banter. You know, every time I go to like a new place, I always try to like take in all the surroundings and just, I don't want to say like make jokes about it, but like what's interesting here that's like I'm not used to. Like I was in Opelika, Alabama.
Where?
Opelika, which I found out very quickly. I was pronouncing that wrong. It's like I was saying Opelika. They're like, it's Opelika. I'm like, oh, touched a chord. Like, but you know, it's just I try to like make each show kind of unique in its own way, which is kind of why I like the Speakeasy shows because like, each venue is different.
Right.
All that fun stuff.
What are some of the craziest tricks that you've pulled off? I know I've heard of or have seen a few of them. You know, driving with a blindfold and stuff like that. There's some interesting ones.
Yeah, I drove a Volvo over at Kempog Volvo. I drove that blindfolded around Wilkes-Barre or whatever area that is.
Wasn't that with Gerard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Gerard, I'm going to drive a car blindfolded. Do you want to come film this? He's like, sure.
Gerard at Cole Creative, for
Yeah.
those who don't know what Gerard we're talking about.
Once I knew I can call him and like he was down for that, I was like, my man. Like he's like, yeah, sure, why not? Like didn't ask questions, just like, all right, like let's do it.
I could picture.
Right.
I could hear him like saying that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Just completely calm, cool, collected. Like, all right.
Sure.
I was like, okay, you're gonna sit in the back seat. He's like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
He wasn't even wearing a seatbelt. He was like had a camera and was like trying to get angles. I was like, you are quite the risk taker.
And you've made a car disappear before too. I mean,
Up here,
Up
Up
here.
here.
Okay.
the Lexus RCF.
Yeah.
No shit.
At the 2015 NEPA Auto Expo.
A couple thousand people. It's a good time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Yeah, it was good.
Time for another trick? What? No.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Trick and a beer.
Yeah.
Trick and a beer.
Trick and a beer.
Sounds like
Well, that
sounds like
last-
my next tour.
Again, that was there you go. At the SBC Small Batch Triple Ale. That was actually
This was
good.
really good. Yeah.
At SBC, I do like the SBC beer. Well, I should take that back. The pumpkin's good. The toboggan's good. The shandies are good. All
The shandies are really great.
They're like their flagship staple beers. Whatever. That was good
I like the first one the best.
so far. You haven't had the Icy Light Mango yet, have you?
I have not.
I hope you get so drunk you can't do this next Just next trick.
I hope you can say your whole sentence. So
I will fail at that sober. I can't even do syllables.
I was just gonna say, beat me to my own joke.
Hirsch says,
Oh, fuck Hirsch.
I bet I can read Johnny's mind right now. I love Denny's pants.
Denny's pants. Oh, his pants. Where are they from? Express?
Probably.
Yeah, I had the same ones.
You should have worn. We would have marched.
I totally should have.
That would have been awesome.
I was trying to get pants out before, so.
Yeah, during that outage, that's why I had to stop. He was about to jump over the table. So
Yeah, it was kind of awkward.
It was weird.
Yeah, we figured we'd spare you that.
Let's
so.
get weird.
Let's get weird, just like Austin.
Yeah, let's get weird.
All right, let's try one more. Here we go.
Okay.
Johnny, take one out for me. Actually, here, we'll do over here with Rich. I'll get back to you with something else later.
Yeah, maybe he can actually pull a card.
Here we go.
I'm making fun of myself. I can't do syllables.
Take a card, and it's okay if we see it's not one of those tricks. Yeah. What card? Jack of Hearts. Cool. Here, why don't you take your this marker and sign your name across the Jack of Hearts? Super, super big.
Okay.
Really?
Super big.
There we go.
Give your card the Jack of Hearts.
This beer is really fucking good.
Is it?
I'm on.
Okay.
I'm going to interject your joke.
So we have Rich's card, the Jack of Hearts, with his name on it. We're going to try this. Sorry, these beers are kicking in. We're going to fold up the card, put it, hold it in between your teeth.
It's gross.
Yeah, I know.
I thought I washed that first. I don't know why it's better.
I just brushed my teeth.
It was in his hands.
You just brush your teeth? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to take and sign my name on the 8 of clubs. So we have my name, Denny, 8 of clubs. We're going to take and fold that one up too. Here we go. Rich, do what I do.
Is it a
Ready?
kiss?
No.
Oh, we're going to eat it.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do as he does. Yeah, there you go.
Don't move. Because now in my mouth is now Rich's Jack of Hearts.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I'm sitting
And,
right here and I still don't
wow.
get out.
What?
Oh my god.
Here, we'll even try this too.
I'm not putting that in my mouth.
No, you're not putting anything in your mouth. Don't, just keep drinking that beer and,
All right.
and we'll be fine. But, so I won't have you pick a card. I want you to think of a card.
Okay.
Okay? Change your mind to a different card.
Okay.
Change your mind again.
Okay.
So now you're thinking of a card that you didn't even know you were going to think of.
Right. I'm like 3 times removed.
3 times removed, right.
Or twice, whatever.
Twice. Just like most people's cousins around here. What was the card you were thinking of?
Out loud?
Yeah.
2 clubs.
2 of clubs. Watch. Check your pocket.
Holy shit. What the fuck is going on? I'm sitting right here. Like, I can't even, fake it.
No.
How did you guys did make out? I'm so drunk. I'm so drunk.
You missed that during the blackout. You
I
also
was
blacked
sitting right
out.
here.
This is fantastic.
This is really good.
This is really good. This is the mango.
Oh, this
The icy
mango, the
mango,
mango
yeah.
IC. Yeah, I've had this one before.
I don't
This
think
is
I have.
really
This
good.
is really fucking good.
That's
Solid.
my favorite one so far.
Thank you again, Beer Boys.
Yes, absolutely. And we still haven't gotten any answers yet about how he does all this.
Whoa, he's not gonna tell us.
No.
Can you sign the Thunderstruck page for my own personal collection?
Look at you fanboy.
To Johnny. Hope you were thunderstruck.
I am Thunderstruck. Holy fuck.
Well, while you're doing that, let me ask you about these speakeasy shows. So, what is the concept behind those?
So the speakeasy shows are really, really fun. Because I was doing shows in the area, just selling tickets. Like, hey, I'm going to be at XYZ venue or here doing a show. Come and buy tickets. And I always think, how can I give the most value and the most fun to my audience? Don't judge me, whatever. I'm a big Godsmack fan for like years. Used to even love them. Their one DVD was filmed in Wilkes-Barre.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I think it was like their Changes DVD or something. Back when people still watched DVDs. And like they actually had like film crews come in and like do this all stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, this venue looked really familiar. I look on the back, it was like recorded in Wilkes-Barre. I'm like, son of a bitch. But like watching it, they, you know, he was Sully, he was like the singer. He was saying how he loves to give like him and the band give like a big bang for their buck with like shows. Like there's pyrotechnics, like they do drum solos, like the whole show experience is good. And that always stuck with me. This is like, you know, people who go the extra mile in their shows, whether it's pyrotechnics, costume changes, whatever they can do just to make the experience better. So I love like the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, like that Prohibition era. Like I love the car. I love everything about that kind of time frame. And I love speakeasies and all that stuff. So I was like, I wonder. So I did the first one, I think in January or February. I think it was January. And all of them have sold out so far. And so what happens is people buy tickets and they know the time-ish, but definitely the date. And that's it. The morning of the show, they get a call from either me or someone on my team, and they tell them more specific details of what they have to do to get to the show. So sometimes it's maybe go to a venue. So I'll call, say, hey, go to 235 Main Street in Wilkes-Barre. You'll see like a black door, or you'll see like a guy with like a red jacket. Go up, talk to him, tell him the password. You're here for the Grabowski wedding, and then like he'll like let you go like the next step. This next one I'm doing in Bethlehem next Saturday or next Friday. Sorry, the 18th. That one's gonna I think have 2 or 3 different like levels to like get in. So like different sequences you have to do to get into like, the actual venue. So it's just like, how do you make it just fun and interesting for people? And that's been taken off. So all of them sold out so far. Really excited.
Oh, nice.
And just something fun and different, I think, just to do. And I think people like that. I was talking to some people, and they're like, no one's going to buy that. I'm like, people are. It's just not your thing.
Right.
It's like you have to like that sort of thing. I was talking to my dad about it. He's like, I don't want that. He's like, I just want to know. Tell me where it's at. Where I got to go. Like I don't have time for like all that stuff. I'm like, no, like, that's cool, but like that's not the market I'm going after. I want people who want that like little bit extra experience, who are like, oh, like I wonder like what time is he gonna call? Like I've talked to so many people like, oh my god, you actually called. Like you can like they're on the phone so excited. And that makes me excited, but I'm trying to keep like poker face, like trying to make it like serious, like, hey, go to like it's him. I'm like, don't do this. Like you're throwing me off my like jive. Like and then you get some like older people who are like, let me grab a pen. And then it's like, oh, here we go. Like some calls take like 20 minutes, and they're like, I don't have a GPS. What does it buy? I'm like, oh boy, here we go. But no, it's just a really fun event, and had a venue in Bethlehem reach out, so bringing the show down there. I think we're about 50% sold out, so
Nice.
excited for that. A little bit bigger venue too, so I think we're having 70 or 80 seats. Normally I'm doing like 40, 50, so an extra 20 people.
And didn't you want to offer
Oh yeah, so
the
for
viewers?
24 hours, it's only for 24 hours.
Right now,
From right now.
From right now,
8:07.
yes.
So 8:07 Thursday, the 9th, or the 10th, the 10th.
Oh, like no, the show's on the 18th next week. The show's next week in Bethlehem, which isn't too far from here.
Yeah, not
super
far
quick.
at all.
If you use the promo code at checkout, if you go to dennycorby.com and there's public events, there's a tab there. If you get tickets and you use the promo code SCENE, SCENE, you will get $5 off your order. So like 10% off your ticket.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. And this show includes food too. So
Oh, even better.
exactly, first show including food. Food's included.
You will not make it disappear before they get to eat it.
I will not. No. So.
Okay, good.
Any more comments? This is like so fascinating to me.
Oh yeah, I love that part of
We
it.
lost
We did lose a
lost
bunch
the
because
initial one.
because of
because of the
All those
Yeah,
the
people.
weird party we had.
If you had a question, you're still watching. Ask it again.
Have you ever heard of Johnny Cupcakes?
Yes.
He reminds me a lot. Well, I don't know him, but you remind me of him just from like the internet, whatever. But he's a magician. Or he's not a magician, but he was a magician, all that kind of stuff. But
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I know he's like Boston though.
Yeah. So he's in Boston, but the experience is the big thing for him.
Yeah.
Like last St. Patty's Day, he said that he went out he had like 20 some T-shirts or whatever for St. Patty's Day themed, and he was a leprechaun, you know, and you had to go find him. It just kind of.
Well, I think that's what we as people like. Like we
Yeah.
like that experience. Like, why do we go to the same places we go to? Why do we frequent those things? It's for that experience.
Right, and I think that's why we go to different places too, because we want to. We don't. I mean, for me, let's just the bar scene. I don't want to go to a bar. First of all, I have a kid now.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. The first 4 weeks, I was sorry, but no. Prior to that, though, like you had to, like give me some reason to come out, like and go out and like to do something, and like that's so for me, like the experience is what I need to be a part of some of these days.
Sure.
So.
Well, it's the same reason why like people buy Apple products. It's that experience. It's the way like the box, you know, it's the box how like it slowly comes out, but it's like not connected. Like that whole experience of going to the Apple store, like it's the experience you give the people. That's why like it's always that the people are always happy. They're always going in there like they're happy to help you. Hey, how's it going? Come on in. Like you're like, oh my god, this is great. Like, can I help you? Like. Yeah, like I don't want to buy anything, but I want to now. Like it's that experience that they give their people and clients, and that's a whole other talk that we can talk about. But like that's, I think what a lot of people let fall by the wayside is people want that experience, whether it's no matter what kind of company, if it's a brewery or like whatever company it is, like people want that special experience.
Yep. They want to feel like they're part of something.
Especially when like they're giving their money. Like to me, like that's like to me the fact that random ass people come out and come to my shows. Like most of my events are private, like you can't come to them. So like for different companies, organizations. So doing like these, when the first speakeasy show I did, I knew or like one or two degrees of people like I kind of knew. So it was like friends of friends. I kind of knew most of the people there. Second one a little bit less. The past two, like more than half the crowds. Like I have like people like I get like the email notifications like, oh, so and so bought tickets. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. And to me, like that's like the coolest thing is like people are coming out for like this experience, and then like afterwards they're like, that was so much fun. I'm like, it's the coolest feeling just giving that experience to people. And to me, like, if people are willing to give me their hard-earned money to give them that experience is like
It's gotta be like a rewarding.
Extremely.
You know?
Extremely. Like people like when I get like a new follower on Instagram and like Facebook and stuff, like I am so excited.
Yeah.
Like these people took time out of their day
That's cool.
to search me out. Like I just think it's so neat.
Same goes for you though too. Like someone's a fan of NEPA Scene.
Absolutely.
That's a great feeling. No one's fucking thanking me for taking their money.
But they are, because you're helping them with their ROI and getting them more business doing sales.
I hate that fucking term.
Where's the blackout now? All right.
Well, what's my return on investment?
No, but like you're helping clients like
No,
get more people in the
there
door.
are-
That brand recognition.
No, there have been in the past over the years that I've been doing it. There are some that do thank me, which is awesome. But it's sales. A lot of times is a thankless job.
Sure.
You know, no one's thanking me for taking that money. At the end of the day, thank you for taking my money. And but there are times I shouldn't. It's thankless, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm being
Facetious.
yeah.
And one of the things I saw on your YouTube, you get a lot of people who have interesting reactions, like fun reactions and stuff. Are there any that stick out to you in terms of people that you've met and done something for that just been kind of blown away? Or
not really one in like particular. There was one video. So I've been doing like a lot more videos, just like online and of like shows. So kind of like recap videos. Just I don't know if you saw some of the ones I put out recently. Did about 4 or 5 shows in Alabama. I had my video guy with me, and we filmed a couple shows and just did like funny stuff before the shows. So like little like minute long, just like personality piece. I don't know. Just me just being like a goofball. It's me just like doing my thing. Like we were in downtown Birmingham, which I didn't realize. We were trying to like figure out like what to do the one night. We're in town a couple days early, and we didn't realize Birmingham is called the Magic City. So we did some stuff like around like that sign, just like some funny quirky stuff. I did a show in, I think it was in Allentown or Philly. And imagine a guy who looks like the Monopoly guy, bald, beard, all that. And like I think the video's up on my YouTube, but he's calling me, he's like, "You're a motherfucker." And it's just like I did not expect those words to come out of like his mouth. He's like, "You're a mother," and he just kept saying it. I'm like, "Thank you."
Okay.
Like, appreciate it.
We meant it in a good way.
Yeah. It's like those always like crack me up when you like people curse who you wouldn't peg them to curse. But yeah.
Nobody has tried to burn you at the stake for witchcraft or anything like that.
Not that I know. I've had a couple of people like, "You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get into my mind." Like, I have better things to do. Like wearing their like tinfoil hats coming to the show.
Right.
That'd be kind of funny actually. Give people tinfoil hats. All right.
There you go.
Alex
May
Jones
18th, tinfoil
have
hats.
on Infowars.
Get signed every single one of them.
Find like all of them in the trash after. It's gonna be great.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
Insta story.
Insta story.
Is that what they call it?
Is that what they call it now?
I don't know. I just got into it.
Well, follow me at Denny Corby.
Am I?
Shameless plug.
There you go. Yeah, let's get all the shameless plugs in as we wrap up here.
Yep.
So you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
Yep.
all that good stuff.
Any social media, I get my full name, which isn't common, so it's not that difficult. But
Yeah, that's, you got lucky in that sense.
not that many Denny Corbys.
I'm already following you.
Are you?
Yeah.
My man.
You didn't like post a cool video of like, hey, I'm on NEPA Scene
You
Podcast.
check my.
He did.
You check my Insta story, dick.
Yeah, he did.
Did he burn
Yeah.
me? Did he burn me? Did I get
He
burned?
did.
Okay. Yeah, you reused a freaking photo that he already did.
Keep going.
No, he did another one. When
You know you can like
got
hit the
here.
button and it goes
I'm getting motion
forward.
sickness. Okay. Well,
He's not.
there's
I got the pillows, bro. I got it all. I was having fun. I was trying to like promote you
Oh,
guys.
yeah, you were. Okay. I'm an
Wow.
asshole. That's why I'm here. Rich said, hey, I need an asshole for the show. You're
Rich,
the
I
tough one.
didn't know you'd bring the dick.
Yeah.
No, you know who the real dick is? Brittany,
Brittany.
who has not
Let's talk
shown
about
up. Right? She's never here anymore.
I start drinking
We're
more.
gonna continue to shame her until she shows up here.
I just wish she would just quit already. Like, I feel like that's what she's trying to do. Like, just Brittany, just quit.
Seriously, we know you're too good
If you
for
want
us
to,
now.
if you want to quit, just quit. Brittany, seriously.
It's not even fair.
So as we're wrapping up, I'll do one more quick one.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Let's do one more. Let me. What day were you born?
Day of the week?
Like date. Like what was like your,
All right,
your
first
the first of what?
November.
What was yours?
October 27th.
You're how old?
34.
34, 35. You have one kid?
One kid.
Married?
Married.
Married.
Kids?
No kids.
Uh,
Drawing stick figure right now.
no, it's gonna be like
And Rich, I don't want Denny's pants. I want his socks.
watermelon.
Watermelon socks.
I love watermelon socks. All right, so I have my prediction down. Here, do me a favor. Type in a 2-digit number for me. And then hit like, we're going to make it a slightly bigger number to do like maybe plus or times.
Okay.
And then just kind of put in like just like a random number, or it could be a number that means something to you, just throw it in. We're going to go do this as quick as we can. And then here, Rich, why don't you like take the phone,
Okay.
and then you put in yours, and then you can just say yours, and he'll like type it in to keep the process moving a little bit quicker.
So another plus or
Yeah.
times?
Yep, whatever. Just keep the process moving. Put in like a 2-digit number, and then say a 2-digit number. Just say it in. Doesn't matter. We'll just keep the process moving.
50.
50. Put it in, and then whatever. And then here you can put one in. Do whatever,
Okay.
and then do like another one. Put in like your own. Maybe like bring the number down a little bit. So maybe you do like a smaller number ish.
Okay.
50.
15.
15.
And then I don't know what's gonna happen. Then hit equals, and we'll see.
Okay.
What do we have?
592, 18.
What?
592,018.
What?
We
592,000.
did-
Yeah,
we did. We did plus times?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
592,018. 592,018.
Oh, my
right.
God.
But it's actually more than just 592,218. It's actually the May 9th, 2018. It's actually today's date. What? What?
Yeah, this is no joke. Holy
No, that was completely that was completely random. Holy shit.
What the fuck, man? Like, how do you even do that? You have a magic phone.
Yeah.
Is this the...
That's
is
what
this?
it is.
It's called a loopy case.
Holy fuck.
The best is the fake out where he pretends like, what are you talking about?
Nah, I knew what he was
No,
No, you didn't.
Hey,
no,
I'm
he
sorry,
was
what?
he was totally.
He knew the whole time. I knew what he was doing.
I still love like what's going on in like the background that like nobody can
Yes.
hear.
Their minds are
They're
blown,
having,
too.
they're
I know.
having just as much fun as we
Their
are.
brains are on the wall. I'm like, what?
So if you want your mind blown, just happened to us, you should definitely come to the Speakeasy show. Make sure you use that promo code.
The one in June will be local, so
Okay.
bring
so,
it back up here.
Yeah, we'll back in. So if you can't make that one, definitely make sure you come
Follow
to
my
the next
Facebook
one.
page. I'll announce it.
Yes. Make sure you follow this guy. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and anywhere else.
I don't think I'm really on Twitter, but like I'm there, but not really there.
Yeah, not really.
Facebook, Instagram, it's pretty much the main two.
Okay. So make sure you follow Denny Corby. Very talented gentleman.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us and having some beers and.
It's a great
blowing our
time.
minds. All right, so we'll see you next week.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption.
Yeah,
We're not pointing fingers or anything.
Yeah, no, we're
I was
not.
pointing at the camera. I was blaming the audience. I was blaming the audience. But
Probably Brittany who like hit the
It's
switch.
You know what was?
it probably was Brittany.
She showed up.
Brittany fucked up the goddamn stream.
Exactly.
She hates us. She fucking hates us. You're right. Good call.
And
figured.
you know what? If she wants to prove differently, she can come on next week.
Yeah.
We forgot to turn this on though.
No, it's already on. It says on.
It needs
It already
batteries.
says
All
on.
right, great.
It already says on. It's on. It's on. Air. Fuck, dude.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.